Hello, my friends. Okay, so this is a weather report, a planetary weather report for Aquarius rising. You can listen if you are an Aquarius sun or moon, but I recommend people listen to their rising sign because it's just more accurate. Okay, so the situation we're going to be covering is basically July 21st through 24th, where most of the big stuff is happening this week. So the overview is Jupiter is kind of having a last hurrah, a last party in Pisces with Venus on Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll see how that works out for you. And then we're going into a full moon in Aquarius Friday, and we're going to talk about how that works out. Okay, so Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of opportunity, of possibilities, of options, of optimism, and of luck, and just more. It's giving us all the good stuff. And when it's in Pisces, it's like one of its favorite places. It's one of its homes that he has all of his tools and he can do all of his stuff to perfectly. He's just very happy there. And that is good. We want that. So for you, Aquarius rising, you have had Jupiter and Pisces in your second house for the past couple of months. And second house is your place of money, earned income, your actual assets. That is good. And that probably has seen some kind of move towards expanding that realm for you. So next week, Jupiter will reverse. He has been in reverse, going retrograde. Okay, so that's fine. He's in Pisces, but he's going to start going so far backward that he's going to regress back into Aquarius. And Aquarius isn't like totally his favorite place of like, this is amazing. It's more like if you left your home where you had everything and went to an Airbnb, and it's not terrible, but it's not like your favorite place. It's like, it's fine, it's good, I'm doing my thing, and whatever. It's not like bad, it's not good, it's just kind of okay. But it is kind of downshifting from your favorite place where you have all of your tools to work with. So what does that mean? So if Jupiter Pisces was just giving expansion and opportunity to your second house of assets and earned income, that means he will be reversing back into your first house. If you're an Aquarius rising, that's your first house of self, identity, possibly body or appearance. And that seems pretty good too. The Jupiter back into your first house is a lot of power, a lot of all of that expansion and opportunity back into your first house of self. It's like kind of like re-fortifying. Look at all these options I have. This is, expanding that idea of, wait, I can do this. Or like, I don't have to be limited. I have these options. And it's the idea of identity of just like, I don't have to be locked down to be this person who I've always been or blah, blah, blah. Or maybe there's a new, I don't know, way I want to appear to the world, my image, or a new life identity. Like I'm going to be raw vegan and I'm going to totally be that or something. Or I'm going to, have this, I'm just going full force into this like small business thing that I'm doing. Whatever your identity is, you're going to be getting more of a power punch with that Jupiter moving in there. I'm going to talk more about that next week, but that's what we kind of need to know here. And that is also good because Saturn has been there since last December 2020. December 2020, Saturn has been in that first house, and that is good, but it has been giving you a lot of responsibility, a lot of hard chiseling out the stone to create this new identity. It's like, I want to be this person. Okay, you have a lot of hard work ahead of you to do that, to become that person, but it's solidifying you, and after this point you will be that person. Like when Saturn goes over your ascendant into your first house, this is a major like watershed moment. This is like, you are chiseling out the new foundation for your new identity, and you are moving into a whole new realm. So it's not necessarily easy or about everything handed to you on a platter. It's like you have to do the work, but it is there and it will pay off. But it's nice to have Jupiter coming back into that place to be like, hey, but we also have all these options. Why are we not looking at that? Like Jupiter giving you more in that area. Okay, So that's good. Jupiter is going to have this last moment of like clinking glasses, kind of having a cheers moment with Venus. And Venus is the planet of love, love, relationships, harmony, bringing people or things together, beauty, pleasure, how we find pleasure in the world, and how we maybe value things. It could be about money. So when I'm seeing that moment of them kind of having their last, before he moves into your first house again, in Pisces, still in your second house of assets and money, and Venus is in your 8th house of other people's money, of spouses' money, of possible money from the government, of taxes, inheritances, maybe debts owed to you or you owe to someone. I would see this being like something about assets or money, and this beautiful moment of them having it's an opposition. It's not exactly the most flowing vibe, but there is this, how are we going to balance this feeling of all of this love, beauty, pleasure seeking with this expansion of opportunities and options. The bad things there that could be the shadow part of that are maybe going overboard too much of materialistic vibes or aims, like maybe going overboard with someone else's money, or someone else not respecting your boundaries with your assets or something like that. Like, you want to be careful with not spending too much, not eating too much, not drinking too much. It's Venus and Jupiter. It's great, but let's just hold it together a little bit, especially in those money houses. So don't pledge, something that you can't or don't want to fully, stand up for down the road. It's like don't go overboard here, because it could easily get out of control. So yeah, the indulgences, the luxury, the extravagance, expansion of beauty and values, it's all good until it's like too much. So Wednesday night, Thursday, just keep that in mind. It's like Jupiter and Venus having this party, and they're having this send-off, wonderful, but just keep it in check. Okay, so then Friday, the full moon in Aquarius, that's in your, where am I? That is in your first house of self, coming back to your identity, your appearance. And it can be coming to a point of just saying, we need to look back at this. There's something that has been kicked up the last month, maybe starting late June and into July, that has really been sort of a conundrum here between possible relationships and something to do with maybe home and family. And we really need to start focusing back on, like, downshifting back into the identity building of that first house, possibly again appearance or body, but like, the full moon is probably showing, like a spotlight, a harvest moment of like, what are we doing here? Like, this is where we are so far, but Saturn is still sitting there, and Saturn is kind of like, I'm not leaving anytime soon, so we need to come back and focus on this. So that's why I say it's kind of like Jupiter's last hurrah, having this moment of in Pisces, in his favorite place, meeting with Venus, and that's overwhelming, extravagant. Let's try to keep it together. And then the full moon comes through to be like, let's remember what we have to do in that house of self, in that house of like, you want to be this person, you're not pretending, but you're putting yourself out there as that person. You've got this amount of work to do, this amount of work. And it's kind of like with the full moon, it kind of being like an emotional point of saying like, you're really in it now. You're in the middle of it now. Like, it's like, hello, you have to come back and, do the full 9 yards there. But it is helpful because Jupiter will be moving in saying like, okay, we don't have to be locked down to one idea or one way of doing that identity. We have so many options, and we're going to think about it and make it happen. So that is basically what I want to say here. Yes, Jupiter re-entering that, the full moon highlighting the stuff that still needs to happen in that first house. And we'll talk more about what will happen next week, because there's more to this story. It's an ongoing story. Okay, so that is Aquarius rising, and I will be back next week. Thank you.